Alright, well, how's it, YouTube? So we are going to make blueberry pie together, and this isn't going to be like a from scratch blueberry pie recipe. I am going to show you how easy it is to make blueberry pie using home canned blueberry pie filling. So what I'm going to do is up here or here, I never remember which way. I'm going to leave you a card, and in it you're going to be able to click. Okay, so in the card up above, sorry about that, my dad is in town, so my phone is ringing off the hook. Up in the card up above, you're going to, I'm going to leave you a card, and one is going to tell you how I make the pie crust. Even though I'm going to show you that today, the recipe will be up there. This is from Bev from our half-acre homestead, who I absolutely love and adore. And her pie crust is the very first one that I was able to master. I tried like 5 or 6 before then, even the Pioneer Woman's, and I failed horribly at all of them. I think pie crust, along with pizza dough and being able to stretch pizza dough without ripping it, were probably my 2 hardest things that I learned. So pie crust was definitely, out of everything that I learned, the most challenging. So I'm going to leave you a link also to her video if I'm able to. I'll put it in a card. You can go to the master herself and watch her video on how she makes pie crust. I'm also up in the top going to leave you a card to my blueberry pie filling, making it and canning it, so you know exactly what I'm going to be using today in my pie. The key really is the secret trick of making really good, flaky, wonderful, delicious pie dough is using frozen lard and frozen butter. Also your water. I put ice cubes in the water, so make your water ice cold. I actually keep bottled water in my fridge, and I will use that for my water on top of the ice cubes, so I know it is icy cold as I can get it. And by keeping this stuff really cold, you're gonna get a really flaky pie dough that's gonna come out perfect. On a hot day like it is today, you guys probably hear my fans going and my central air going. If it's really hot when I make the pie dough, I will go ahead and put it in saran wrap and put it in my fridge and let it get cold again. I don't want to work the dough when it's really hot, because leaving these little pads of lard, and I'm using lard here and I'm using butter, but using those, I don't want it to warm up in my dough. I don't want it to get all melted and anything like that, because that makes your pie crust really flat and dense and kind of hard, and you want it tender. You want a tender, flaky, delicious crust. So we're gonna go together. We're gonna put together this pie dough. I'm gonna show you how easy it is just to dump in your own pie filling, and I'm gonna tell you, home canned pie filling, this is the first time I ever did it. It is unlike canned pie filling. You know, like that, what brand is it? Like Comstock, I think it is. Or you can even get no-name brands. When you use pie filling out of a can, it doesn't have, I don't know about you guys, but to me it doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. This is amazing. So I am shocked at the difference, and now I know why people have been canning their own pie filling for ages and ages. I don't think I could ever go back to buying store-bought again. So I'm really looking forward to making different kinds of pie filling. I want to make cherry, I want to make peach, maybe I'll make some pear, and of course when I do, I'll bring you guys along, but it's wonderful and it is a huge difference. So alright guys, unfortunately I'm going to have to turn on my oven. I don't want to, because it's like 87 out already and it's really humid, but here we go. I have my kitchen as cool as I'm going to get it, and I need to get this pie done. I've got my my son coming to visit tonight, one son, my second son, and then my first son's coming to visit tomorrow, so I want to have a pie for them. So All right, let's go over to my mixer.
Okay guys, are you ready for the easiest pie crust in the world? We're gonna do it. All right, so we're gonna start with, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this shield off so you guys can see it better. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now the recipe calls for 2.5, and I save a 1/2 cup for my board. So 2 cups goes in the mixer. Okay, and then I'm gonna put on my paddle attachment. All right, and then I'm gonna lift this up. I don't know if you guys can see in here. And I'm telling you, if you have a Kitchenaid stand mixer, this is the way to go. It's fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. And I have it on a level 2. And little by little, I'm gonna throw in my butter and my lard, which have been frozen. Now they're not frozen solid, but I keep them in the freezer about a 1/2 hour before I'm going to make this. So they're pretty frozen. And I cube it up beforehand. Let me get you aimed out here. So you can see. There it is. And your Kitchenaid will blend it up beautifully for you. So that's a 1/3 cup of lard and a 1/3 cup of butter to 2 cups of all-purpose flour. All right, and then go ahead and put my shield on. What's really nice about this 7-quart Pro line is that it's really a deep bowl. So I have very little spit up now in my mixer. So I'm just gonna let this mix now for a minute or 2 until this looks crumbly and wonderful and kind of like cornmeal. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the water. So I'll bring you back once this gets all set up. Okay guys, so if you can see inside my bowl, it's nice and crumbly. And you can also do this in your food processor. You can also do this, of course, by hand using a pastry cutter. But the best success that I've had is using my Kitchenaid. And hey, I spent all this money for a Kitchenaid. I say use it as often as you can. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my shield back on. And sometimes now, when I beat this, I went up to a 5. So beating this really fast is a-okay, and it works beautifully. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it down to a level 2, and I've got a 1/2 cup of water here. It's actually melting. I'm going to actually take this off because it's easier for you guys to see. And slowly I'm going to pour that water in until I have a 1/2 cup added. And I'm going to just mix this until it comes together as a dough. As you can see it, it starts to ball up. And that is perfect. When you see your bowl nice and clean and it's in a ball, it's perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my paddle off of here and get my dough off of here. Make sure your hands are super clean when you do this. And then put that in my sink, and then I'm going to bring you over to my kitchen island and we're going to get this on my board. Alright guys, so here it is in my bowl. I'm going to go ahead and get my scraper because I want every little bit of it. Now this is only 2 cups, okay? We're going to still be blending in another 1/2 cup in this if we need it. But because it's so warm in my kitchen, and even though this dough is nice and cold still, I want it to be colder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of shape it like a ball. I don't want to play with it too much. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in a bread bag, or you can use saran wrap. And I'm going to put this dough ball in my fridge, and I'm probably going to let it sit for about an hour until it gets nice and chilled again, and then I'll bring it out and we will roll it out and make a pie. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour and this is nice and cold. I'm going to go ahead and put down a half a cup of flour, and actually I'm just going to put this over there. And open this up. Alright, nice and cold. Just kind of plop that down. I'm going to take off my rings. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of loosen up my dough here. Now, what I'm going to do is I always offset my cut. Yes, hi, welcome home. Are you done fishing? Yeah. My kids have been fishing, they're swimming, they're all sorts of things. Anyway, okay, so there's my dough ball. Now normally, and hopefully this is focusing, most people cut it in half. I always cut one side a little bigger than the other, and I use the side that's just a little bit bigger for my bottom. So I know my bottom is nice, and then that way, you know, if the top doesn't fit, I can always kind of stretch it and make it fit, but I at least want my bottom to fit. So there we have it with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a ball here, and then I'm going to get my pie roller here, and we are going to roll this out. And I don't know if that's picking up on the camera, but you can definitely see, I don't get my tripod all dirty. See if I can get you zoomed in. Can you see that? Those are little pats of butter and little pats of lard in there. And that's exactly what you want to see in your pie crust. Alright. And when it's ice cold like this, it will roll out much easier than when it's not. Alright. Now, that is it with that. So, here we have my pie dish. Now, this one I got at Habitat for Humanity, and it was handmade by somebody because it has their initials carved into it, and it's a bit larger than your average pie plate, but I absolutely love it. And it's of course naturally nonstick. So my girlfriend Priscilla gave me this handy dandy tool. It's a wooden roller for pie crust. So I used it last time I made pie, and it is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rolling pin, I'm just going to lightly roll up my dough, and then bring it over to my little pie plate here, and roll it out. And then this is the perfect opportunity that, you know, if you've got to roll it out, like I had to do a little extra rolling. Let me pick this up and so you can see. I had to do a little extra rolling last time, so you can use the little side, and that tool just comes in really handy. So I just want to make sure that this fits nice, and it's pretty even in my plate. Alright, and then actually what we can go ahead and do, I'm going to take my pie filling, open it up. I already cracked it open yesterday, and then I threw it in my fridge. So 1 quart of blueberry pie filling. Again, I will leave that link for you guys. I'll leave it down in the description box too, so you guys can find it. But you guys can always just type in the Needy Homesteader
blueberry pie filling, and the video will pop right up for you. So scrape out as much as you can. And this is better than any pie filling out of a can. I kid you not, full of flavor. And when I canned this, you know, I wasn't sure how the gel would, you know, kind of hold up, but it cooks up and holds up beautifully. It's wonderful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, move it back over, and then I'm going to gather up my loose flour here. And again, just kind of put this in a ball, squish it down a little. And then roll it out. And lots of cold pats of butter in this dough, which is just going to make this wonderful and flaky and beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to take this, roll it up gently and loosely. Okay, grab my pie. Now remember, remember guys, I sucked at this. I cannot tell you how many pie crusts I threw in the garbage and how many pie crusts I shed a tear over. So frustrating. Whenever I get super frustrated, sometimes I can't help it, I cry. But super frustrating, and I honestly never ever thought I would ever be able to make a homemade pie. And I never thought I'd be able to make a pie that was halfway decent looking. I won't even say pretty. I don't even care about pretty. I just want it to look halfway decent and not like a hot mess or like somebody dropped it on the floor. So, you know, my best advice to anyone who's struggling with pie dough, because I know a lot of you are out there like me and struggle with pie dough too, just keep practicing. Now my crust still isn't the best, and what I like to do is I like to just kind of I don't know, I hope you guys can see this. I like to pinch the dough together and kind of just turn it under, and then I make a crust from there. I pulled off any extra that I have. And then I just fold this under, because everybody here loves the crust, so it's not something that, you know, nobody complains if the crust is too thick or on the thick side. And you guys, this is the same recipe, the same dough recipe I use for my chicken pot pie or my beef pot pie, meat potato pie. I use this recipe. Who was it that I was talking to? Reborn. Reborn wanted to know, because she likes her pie crust a little sweet. When I make a pie, I end up adding some sugar, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that too. So then, once all my pie crust is tucked under, I go ahead and I just make, this is how I make my little edge. Might not be the prettiest, but I just kind of push my pointer fingers together, and my thumbs are underneath the pie crust. So it forms kind of a little pinching. This is so flaky. It's lifting under my fingers. So I just push and form, and again, it doesn't have to be the prettiest. For me, as long as you can make pie dough, you are on the right path.
Sometimes, I never use the fork method. I guess you could use the fork method. Sometimes I leave my pie looking a little wavy, like a little extra, because I really like that, that look of a pie that, I don't know, looks like it's made from scratch, from hand. So sometimes I'll do that. But this is all there is to it. So then what I do is I take an egg. So I'm going to grab my eggs out here, and you just need one. And I'm going to grab a bowl, crack it in there. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a good little beating. You could add cream to this. I've seen people add water. I've seen people add water to the egg. I've seen people add milk to the egg. I just like the egg. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add little vents to the center, just like that. About an inch. And then with our beaten egg, here, can you throw that in the sink for Mama? I mean Mom. Sorry, so used to being in Mama mode. And then with a pastry brush, I just go ahead and I baste this with just one beaten egg. I don't add milk to it. I don't add water to it. You can if you want. I've tried it all different ways, and I just prefer it with just the egg. And this helps not only brown the crust to this like beautiful golden brown color, but it also adds a little crunchiness to it. And to me, it helps the flakiness of it. It just makes it, oh, it just makes it wonderful. It makes it perfect. So all the way around, and then hit your crust. And trust me when I say, if I can make pie dough and make a homemade pie, anyone can make it. I had given up hope for a while, and I think I stopped making pie. I gave up for like, I don't know, 6 months, I think, where I was just like, no, I'm not even gonna attempt it. And then I went back to it and tried again, and I failed again. And then I found Bev's video, and it changed my life as far as being able to make pie. So, alright, so that's it. So that's covered with egg. Now, the secret, reborn living, to making my pie crust a little sweet is I use sanding sugar. So it's very thick, crystally, beautiful sugar. And I just take it and start sprinkling it all over my pie. I don't know how much I use. I don't ever measure. I just do it until my pie looks pretty. And then don't forget the crust, because everybody will want the crust if it's sugary and crunchy and sweet and wonderful. So sprinkle that sugar. It's almost like rock candy to me, this sugar. Very, very similar to rock candy, but of course crunched up. And that is it. So there you have it. homemade blueberry pie. I think that's not really centered in my pie, the cuts. A little off center there. Homemade blueberry pie using homemade blueberry pie filling. Now I'm gonna put this in the oven at 375 degrees for 1 hour. Then I'm gonna pull it out and I will show you guys what it looks like. Don't forget your pie crust saver. This I got at Bed Bath & Beyond. I think it was like $10. Like I said, this pie plate is a little on the bigger side, so it doesn't meet all the way, but it fits well enough, and it makes sure that my pie crust doesn't burn. So in the oven it goes, and when it comes out, I will bring you guys back. I will show you what it looks like. Then I will get this edited for you guys and get it up, and hopefully you guys can start making some pie from your home canned blueberry pie filling that we made together. All right guys, so it's been an hour, and I'm going to bring you guys over the pie that just came out of the oven. And there it is. Now this is super hot, so you want to take this off while you have your gloves on. And then I'll just throw that in my sink. And there it is. So let me get you off the tripod. And you guys can have a look at the pie. And as you can see, the sugar the sugar just makes it perfect and a little extra sweet and very pretty, I think. So there you have it. Look at how easy making a pie was. Literally, I mean, making it takes about 10 minutes. Then, you know, you set it in the fridge, you let it cool. Rolling out literally takes like 5 minutes, throwing it all together, and then baking it. And you have a homemade pie that you can take to, you know, a barbecue or cookout, or make some pie for 4th of July. Or, you know, just, I just make it anytime, because I just serve it with, I get one of those buckets of ice cream that they sell for $5 at Kroger during the summer. And we just have pie as a dessert. The kids love it, and when they have their friends over spending the night, they love it. And it's easy, and it's not very expensive, and especially when you're using home canned pie filling. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to see, but this one I was happy to share with you guys. Super easy and kind of inspiring. So alright guys, I am going to let you go, get you up, get you all edited, and get this up for you guys. And if you have any questions, comment down below. Again, I'll leave all the links to the pie crust and Bev's video, along with how I made and canned homemade blueberry pie filling, and you can check those all down below. Also down below are all the links. I get a lot of questions about where my, let me turn this off because I'm trying to keep this kitchen cool, where I get my jars from, the jars on my countertop, which these over here, I get the most requests about those jars than anything else. So down below I have a link to Amazon where you can get these. I absolutely love them. I don't know what I'd do without them. I use them every day. And I also have links to my Kitchenaid mixer and my pressure cooker, and all the things that most people ask me. I should put one on that cast iron enameled pot that I used to make jelly in, because I get asked that a lot too. As you guys are asking, I'm trying to put the links and find them for you. And I'm absolutely addicted to Amazon because I have Amazon Prime now. So I go shopping on Amazon Prime and just have it delivered to my house. So that's where if I can't find it anywhere else,
I gotta see if I can still find the link to those measuring spoons. That was Pier 1, but I think they're all on clearance, and I don't know if they have any more. I know my area doesn't have any more. And that's it. So anyway, I'm not going to talk your ear off. If you have any questions for me, comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be talking to you guys soon. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.